Do you want to do the intro, or do you want me to do it?
I'll let you do the intro.
Hello, tankies. Screw it. Anyway, hello, tankies. Or brocomotives, or whatever we want to go by. My name is Eddie Studios, and joining me today is...
Hello everyone, Amazing Gamer 111 here, and welcome to Sudrian FM.
Yes, he came up with the name. It's a very good name. It's better than anything I could have come up with. I was thinking, like...
Also, can we use brocomotives for now on? Because I love that. That is a great nickname for the people watching.
You know, I would, but it was made by Turtles and Thomas, so I don't know if we want to do that. You know what's funny? I was watching a Mr. MPS 2002 stream recently, and it took like 19 minutes for someone to bring up Turtles and Thomas, and there was no even relevance. They just said, "Oh, I miss Turtles and Thomas. It's unfortunate that he was a racist," and MPS was like, "That's not true. He was not a racist." Anyway, that was a weird note to start this on. But yeah, also, if I have to, like, raise your volume in the editing, that'll be hell. But you know what? That'll be fine. We're not redoing this first episode. And if we do have to, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I'd prefer not to.
Yeah, we can cope with the editing nightmares, it's fine.
Yeah, we can cope with the editing nightmares. Anyway, I'm making a movie, and so is he's like doing like 12. So you're not doing 12. I mean, does Obese versus Evil count as a movie?
It's a mini movie, but it's like 30 to 40 minutes, so I guess it kinda counts.
It counts as like a special.
Yeah, it pretty much is a special.
Anyways, let's actually describe this podcast. So I wanted to do a Thomas podcast, just because to talk about relevant things with the fandom, just go over my honestly quite cynical look on the fandom right now, and I wanted someone that's equally, not cynical about the fandom, just, like, has a very similar mindset when it comes to these kind of things. So I reached out to the Amazing Gamer, and he said yes, so that's what we're gonna do. This is the first episode, we're gonna do more, hopefully. Let's hope the free time gods are in our favor.
Oh yeah, like, you never know with a furry working at the Premier Inn, you know, roads is always changing, but it's in our favor for this first episode, so...
I love that you needed to point it out that you're a furry.
Yeah. Because I am a furry. I quite enjoy being a furry. It's amazing. A furry in the Thomas fandom. There aren't many of those. I did meet one at the Audrey Extravaganza 5, though. That was pretty cool.
I mean, I do have a Thomas costume, and I've called myself a furry. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts. There's probably some kind of fuzzy, I don't know, fabric in there somewhere. That makes it count as a fursuit.
Imagine I go to a furry con, and I'm just wearing a Thomas onesie made for 5-year-olds.
Literally. Wait, does that mean that in Woolly Bear, Percy is canonically a furry? You know, they call him a bear. Percy's a furry. Of the cast to be a furry, Percy seems the most likely.
I mean...
Like, let's be real. Can we get some fan art of that, please? Like, of Percy, like, being a secret, like, having a secret interest in furries.
Like him listening to, like him listening, like, I was listening to furry ASMR earlier. I just admitted that publicly.
Furry ASMR is great.
Yeah, it is. And it was, like, a macro cat boy. And I'm like, can we have a large Percy cat boy? Please? This, you know, we had bullet points, and we're gonna go over them. We just started rambling. Anyways, let's actually discuss our first topic, and that is the merch. Pretty relevant topic right now.
Yeah, the merchandise. Which one of us wants to start off here on the merchandise? Because there's quite a lot to say on it.
Which one do you have less to talk about? I think we'll start with that one.
I probably have less to talk about. Like, I have some highs for some of the merch, then I have some really hicky lows, I guess I could say.
Yeah, me too. Like, Trackmaster or the Metal Collection? Which one do you have less to talk about?
I have less to talk about the track Trackmaster. So
I do as well, so I guess we'll start off with that. Do you want to go first?
yeah, okay. So most of the Trackmaster stuff we've gotten, because obviously this year, 2025, is the year of the 80th anniversary of the franchise, and we're very happy about that. We've gotten some cool stuff coming out. And most of the merch has been fine, but then there's like this one Trackmaster piece, right? And I'm not referring to like the Legacy line or whatever, when you got Duck Scottman. I guess Gordon and James could use some work. Duck's probably the most proportionally accurate. Yes, it breaks the loading gauge of Trackmaster, but we'll let that go for now. But one thing, there is one piece of merch that came from the Trackmaster line, which it's not really as visually appealing as the rest of them, and that's like this Golden Thomas they've got coming out, and it just looks really messy. Like, I swear, every time that any line of Thomas merch has done a Golden Thomas, it just looks so clunky, and I bet it's going to be extremely expensive as well, because purely it's that brand thing that every toy line in the world seems to think, like, if you coat a character that already exists, the exact same mold you can go and get in a golden coat, that for some reason makes it more valuable than the rest. It's an odd decision. I thought we moved past this by now. Like, you're dropping this in the Legacy line of, like, it's doing the fans more of a solid than they were before with the previous, Trackmaster stuff that was going on back when Blubber was a thing. That was abysmal. And, like, they're sort of doing more accurate designs now. You've got Duck and Scotsman with their show-accurate faces and, like, chassis and all that, and their designs that are more akin to the CGI series, away from the All Engines Go stuff, because they're moving away from that now, it seems, because the show's over.
That'll be something to talk about, actually, when the media stuff happens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that. But, like, with all of this more show-accurate stuff coming and, like, doing what fans have been clamoring for ages, what's the point of doing this Golden Thomas thing? Because this is, again, going back to the whole gimmick thing of, like, every toy brand of every franchise. Like, we don't need the golden anything anymore. Even when Wooden Railway was in its prime, and I think if they did do a Golden Thomas, no one really cared. They just wanted Thomas. They just wanted stock standard normal Thomas. What's the point of the gold? It just makes it look ugly. I don't remember an episode Thomas was golden. Why is this a thing? Oh, it's just to celebrate. Isn't that kind of a waste of money, though? Is it already making money from just regular toys? They just wanted something to push out for the celebration. Or, I don't know, put Thomas in streamers or something. I don't know, like they did for Lady in that one line of, I think, take-along merch. Don't change the colors of the characters and the paint jobs and whatever. Like, what's the point? You're putting yourself through more work that people are going to think looks really cheap and gimmicky and boring, and that doesn't appear in the show. People want stuff, like toys of stuff that's in the show. So we don't get this whole golden gimmick thing. It's something that's never made sense to me. This is coming from a guy who's got a golden Moshi Monsters mini-Ben mini on his shelf, but my point still stands.
Do you know what's funny? I watched the Moshi Monsters movie recently. It's a 2 out of 10. It sucks.
Oh, it sucks. Like, I think I am in wholehearted agreement that Strange Glove was literally the only good part of that movie.
I mean, he was fun. The actor did a good job, and I think his song was probably the best song.
Yeah, 100%.
But, like, everything else was, like, just, ugh. Everything else was so boring. I have a better job recounting the plot of every Sonic Underground episode I've seen, and the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog film, than the Moshi Monsters movie, which I saw 2 months ago.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Which, I don't know if that's a testament to how memorably bad the Deke cartoons mostly were, or like the more goofy ones. But regardless, was there anything more you had to say on the Trackmaster merch?
About the Trackmaster merch, I mean, that's just about how I feel about it. Like, it's all good. Like, Gordon and James, I think, could use a bit of work, because there's something about them that just look a bit off. Thomas seems fine, especially with the white lining. I'm glad that that's at least being sold in the UK, and that's not a Japan exclusive thing anymore, because Player Rail was the closest you were going to get to white running boards, so I'm glad that Mattel themselves are just having that done for their own stuff, and it's not just Japan anymore.
It's kind of ridiculous how long that took.
Yeah, like, right? Like, why did it take us this long to get white running boards in literally any other country that wasn't Japan? Because I mean, it's not going to stop me from one day going to Japan, because my friend was just in Japan, one of my, friends from London Furs, and they saw, like, a whole shop full of Play-Rail, and, like, they're cheap. They're so cheap over there. And if I'd known they were there when they were, I would have said, can you please pick me up Oliver? Please, I'll pay you back for it, because I'm not... We all know the drama of Oliver, okay? We know...
Yeah, the scammer known as Mr. or Entity. If you know the lore of who I'm talking about, you'll get the joke. He's rammed on about it enough.
Yeah, Mr. Ruined a...
Mr. Ruined! Mr. Ruined people's credit cards.
Mr. Ruined a genuine piece of history from a franchise show. Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
and also who burned his scripts.
When reselling it. Yeah, that's gonna work.
Wait, I'm not talking about Soda Productions.
Oh, never mind then.
I'm talking about Mr. Ryan, dude.
Oh, never mind.
Well, I was going to avoid talking about Soda Productions, but I guess we'll rant out about him later now that that's done in the fandom part.
All I got to say on him is just the scene from SpongeBob with Patrick going, boo! That's all I got to say about Soda.
Yeah, what I've got to say is that, this actually kind of ties into the merch. I'm of the opinion that a lot of the merch looks bad. And I've had a stupid amount of people compare me to Soda Productions solely because I said that.
Nah, guys.
I've had people they weren't okay.
Stuff doesn't look good.
Okay, they aren't my friends. I should clarify. If you guys are if any of my friends are listening to me who have said I think the merch looks good and they're okay. I've had a couple people that I consider my friends say, "Oh, like I think the merch looks good. I think you're wrong for saying it looks bad. And also, I don't like Soda Productions for saying they look bad." I've had a couple people say that. I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to people that have directly said, I'm like Soda Productions for saying that. You know who you are. I've had a couple people say that.
They literally, the issue with them saying that is they take one baseline opinion of you and then just make it your entire personality of, they don't like anything new that Thomas is doing at all. It's like, no, it's just this one thing that doesn't make them exactly like Mr. Scammer Productions over there. Eddie is not anything like that guy.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. But I don't want to make this like a tooting my own horn thing. All I'll say, I'm going to kind of go in defense of people that don't like the merch for a sec. Is that, like, yes, it does look better than most of the All Engines Go Trackmaster merch. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like cool that they're doing merch of the old stuff. That's cool. But I think it's still... Just because it's better than a lot of the Trackmaster All Engines Go merch doesn't mean it's beyond critique. And I think it's stupid that, like... And I'd say, it's stupid that Soda Productions is, like... I've had a decent amount of people, before the Colin stuff, say that the biggest problem with Soda Productions was that he was trashing on the new merch. Which I don't agree with on a principle. I'm not defending Soda Productions, I'm just saying... And I don't even know how he presented those points. But what I'll say is that trashing on merch is not a reason to hate someone. You can hate him for any reason you want. That there are a lot of valid reasons, but I don't think him hating merch is a valid one to do that. And I'm not Soda Productions. If you're watching this, I'm not defending you. You're a bad person. I will not defend you at all. I am simply saying that.
Not just on a case of not liking the Thomas merch, he is, like, a bad person as a human, straight up. Like, the 60s called, dude, it's 2025, get with the times.
Yeah, he's a terrible person. I'm not... Soda Productions, if you're listening, I'm not defending you. I think you're a bad person. I am simply saying this is not a good reason to hate you. There's a lot of good ones, but that's not one of them. But anyway, actually getting to my points. I think... The boilers are too big, especially on the tender engines. They're way too big.
Yeah.
I also think the faces and smoke box are just way too big. They take up most of the running board.
It's the bodies are too big or the wheels are too small. That's my only complaint. That's what it feels like when I see them in the shop.
It feels so stretched.
Yeah.
And I hesitate to say fat, but it looks so disproportioned, and I don't like that. I don't think they look good. Duck looks fine. The other ones I don't think look very good.
only one that I really wanted, because Duck looked the best of the bunch.
Yeah, Duck, and I actually do like, okay, I guess you could, I do like when Duck is, a darker shade of green, because he's not Northwestern green, he's Great Western green. I like that approach. And yes, that's not entirely accurate to the show.
It's the matte finish they're doing on the new toys as well that looks really nice, especially on Duck.
Yes, Duck's face is also pretty good. The other ones, I don't like the faces that much.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan
Also,
of the Gordon and James faces in particular.
One little, tiny... I hate making complaints about this because it's an improvement and a miracle we got something like this at all. But one little con that comes with having new CGI-era toys is now we know Mattel, despite not making the CGI series anymore, are willing to turn back the clock to make merch for an era that doesn't exist anymore. And if that's the case, I'm going to sound so horrible for saying this. Why aren't we getting toys of the classic series? Just going to say it.
I mean, I agree.
I'm sorry.
I agree. That's a good point. Especially with Magic Railroad, this would be the perfect opportunity to make Magic Railroad merch. Especially considering you could also make it in tribute to Britt Allcroft.
This is the year we're getting the director's cut. Now is the best time to do that.
And also, Britt Allcroft's dead. This is a good time to make a tribute to her movie. Side note, this anniversary year has been so odd, just for the amount of people that have gotten involved in terms of dying, showing up, making good cuts, or scamming people. There's just a lot of things.
Yeah. It's certainly been the year of all time for Thomas fans. It's been the year of all time.
Yeah, and it's also been the year to start making a podcast on it, which is what we are doing. We are fulfilling that need. Anyway.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Anyway.
Is that what we wanted to sound like, the Trackmaster stuff? Because we still got diecast as well that I want to talk about.
Yes, okay. I think do you want to go first with the diecast, actually?
Yeah, I do want to go with the diecast, because I don't have much to say, because it's mostly just all the same thing. So the new diecast, right, for, let's say, because I have them on my shelf right now, Thomas, Percy, and James, as soon as they got announced, I wanted them. I love them so much. Because, it's, I don't know what it is, but something about these new molds that they did for them. And there was a toy that was recently announced of this same line, and it's got something to do with molds, and I have got a con about it, and I'm not the only one who has a problem, but we'll get to that in a second. The way Thomas and Percy and James look, and Henry as well, actually, surprisingly, because he's part of this line, which shocked me when I heard that was going to be in the first line. That whole leak that we got ages ago about the Trackmaster line, the Legacy line of diecast as well. When I saw them, I was like, oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. They look pretty good. They look snazzy. Not perfect by any means. Again, we've had better, but it's a step in the right direction compared to what we had with the All Engines Go era and the Waller era. So I love the way the Thomas, Percy, James, and Henry look. They look incredible. As of now, this is the best that we could have gotten for this time in 2025. Yeah, I just like them. I think they're nice. And they're nice to look at on my shelf. I think Percy's my favorite because of his little adorable chibi face. He's a little goober. I love him. Yeah, he's a
little furry goober.
He's a little furry goober. Yeah, he's my little woolly bear. It's my little woolly bear. I'll take him to London Furs. I'm gonna take him with me to London Furs in a couple days. In fact, I'll send pictures to you as well. He'll come with me.
Am I gonna postpone this podcast 3 days so I can show those pictures visually?
Yes, you can. You can show them on the screen.
Oh my god, I'm so gonna do that. It also saved me some time, because around that time it'll be the weekend, which I'll have more time to edit this.
Hell yeah.
I might audio edit first, though, so I can see if this is even usable.
Yeah, of course. But there's one character that just got announced for this line, which I despise, because they didn't change it at all, and it's Diesel. They announced Diesel, and it's literally a copy and paste of the Adventures Diesel.
And the Trimester push along.
And the Trackmaster push on, and I'm like, no, not Diesel.
And also, his face is just the most... I hate Diesel having a happy face in merch. I hate it.
No.
Give him a scowl, dude!
This is why I like the Take and Play Diesel, like the original Take and Play, the Take Along Diesel, because he's angry. He looks pissed.
Yeah, it looks good, and so does the old One Railway one, and even the 2011 One Railway one even looks pretty good.
Yeah, and they shrink his face. Why did they keep shrinking his face in the merchandise? His face is huge. Like, come on. And also, let's not forget, this is also speaks to a much bigger issue because of this Diesel being in the new line. Once again, we now have a flawed Diesel, which is a Class 08 model, and there are a lot of Class 08s in Thomas, which is just going to be copy and paste different paint jobs of this same crappy mold. Guys, Mattel, it's 2025. Give us a bloody Diesel. Give us a good-looking Diesel.
Okay, I actually do have a point to make with that. I do have a point. I'd be fine with variant, or like Airy Burt, Paxton, Sydney, even Splatter and Dodge, or even like the Journey Beyond Sodor Diesels. I'd be fine with those being in it on a couple conditions. One, Airy Burt and the mainland Diesels need to be in 2-packs. Splatter and Dodge, they have different paints, they can be in different things.
Yeah.
They need to be in packs of 1, and they need to cost... the maximum is just slightly more than 1 engine. Just slightly. Mm-hmm. That'd be the max. Because, like, let's say... I don't know the prices of the new engines. Do you know? Actually, you bought them, so...
Well, I think the die-cast line was, like... I paid, like... What? Either 7 or... 11. It was either between 7 and 11 pounds here in the UK, and then for the actual Trackmasters, I think it was like 15 to 18 pounds. That's too much, okay?
Yeah, that is too much.
Just for...
So 7 to 11. Okay. If you're gonna do an Airy Burt, 13. If you're gonna do the Journey Beyond Sodor Diesels, 15. What?
That's like a 2-in-1. Like, if you're going to do Airy and Burt, like, as a pack, then something like 12 or 13 would be good.
Yeah, that'd be totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually miss when they used to sell engines in packs of 2. Like, because they did that with Take Along and some even with Tomy.
Yeah, and variants as well. Variant packs.
Cool. Yeah, variant packs. That was pretty cool. I mean, they're kind of doing that with some of the different Thomas faces, like... with the Mattel 80th anniversary, the regular Railway Series one, and then the regular Thomas.
But that's like, just the same engine. There's no unique thing.
I mean, the engines are the same, but the faces are like slightly different, like with the eyes moved slightly. But I mean, if you have different faces, like actual different proper faces, like maybe happy or smirking, like, you know, his classic season 1 kind of like cocky looking smirk, or some other like maybe a shocked face or something.
Yeah, if they do a Woolly Bear Percy variant, I might get that for this show.
Yeah, we need face variants. Like, now's the time. We need to actually get on this and demand face variants. Not, because I think we're all tired of just having to make them ourselves and 3D print them. Because that costs money. That costs quite a lot of money. If they did it for us, that would be cool. That's very ambitious, but you get where I'm coming from.
I feel like there might be a choking hazard there, but objectively, that's a good idea.
It would be cool.
Yeah. Or maybe you could just, like, sell it as, like, $2, like, bags.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
Like, kind of like the Thomas Minis, except they're expansions.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of an interesting thing, that I'm going to talk about in a sec. But my thoughts on the diecast. Oh, wait, are you finished? Or can I say what I gotta say?
Yeah, I'm pretty much finished on the diecast. Thomas, James, Percy, and Henry are fine. Diesel looks like butt. But other than that, I like the diecast.
Okay. Percy and Thomas look fantastic.
Yeah. My
big problem with Henry and James is that, one, James, I just think is too big. Too tall. And they're not proportionate to their actual sizes. Because, like, even... in the merch, where they're scaled down, like Capsule Playro and Railway, etc., they're still, like, consistent with which characters are smaller and bigger than each other. They're not with this line, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now on my shelf, and James's face is like almost twice the size of Thomas and Percy's.
Yeah, and also, like, James is just, like, only a little bit taller than Thomas and Percy.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, they look good. They're well-made toys. It's just, I wish they had consistency. A little bit more consistency. And also, the Diesel one looks like butt. That's obvious. But, something that's kind of interesting to me is that they're doing Whiff and, like, other characters like that kind of early. Like, they're pretty early on the list.
Oh yeah, they did announce like a list of other characters they plan to do.
Which I'm fine. That's a cool idea. I just hope you get the I hope it doesn't take like a year to do like Toby or Duck.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they have their priorities in order.
Yeah, they've chosen the weirdest characters for both the Trackmaster and Diecast characters to start off with. Like, they've chosen a weird-ass character assortment, but whatever. There's a billion characters in Thomas. As long as we could just get to the main 7 at some point, then I'll be happy.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't take them that long. But, like, if you have the resources to make a good amount for each roster, sure, throw in some sides. I'm fine with that. As long as they look good. But if they butcher Whiff, I'm going to be so mad. If they butcher Murdoch, there will be riots.
Oh yeah, there will.
I love... Murdoch's my favorite character.
Murdoch in the merch line is very beloved, because there's much, like, he's a grand-ass engine.
Dude, I have 2 One Railway Murdochs and a Take-Along. Dude, like, they better not hurt my boy.
I mess with Murdoch because of just how cool he looked when I saw him for the first time as a kid. I was like, oh my god, he a big boy, he huge.
Okay. So I think there's 2 more things related to the merch that I want to talk about. One's a bit smaller of a topic. What are your thoughts on the fact that we aren't getting, or at least so far, we're not getting a new equivalent of the Thomas Minis or One Railway? What are your thoughts?
Wooden Railway is... I never played with Wooden Railway as a kid, so I did think it was a bit of a bummer for those who did, because I know it was one of those big giants in the community in terms of merchandise. That was one of the most beloved pieces of merch. And what was the other one? The minis?
Thomas Minis, or like an equivalent of like a Chibi line.
Oh yeah, then I don't care much for the minis, because I see them in shops all the time, and I'm like, I will not be sad when you're gone, because I just did not.
Wait, they still do those? I thought those were like gone.
No, here in the UK, you can actually find them in like Toy Barn House, The Entertainer, Smith's.
Actually, that'd be a good outlet to keep All Engines Go going, actually.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. But in mini form, there you go, so you have something.
Or you could just make them a bit bigger and do like a bit of a capsule play rail style thing.
Oh, that's something I want to say. Japan, can we please bring capsule play rail over to the UK?
Dude, I love capsule play rail.
I love capsule play rail too. Why does Japan get everything that's awesome?
Yeah, Japan loves Thomas.
They do.
Okay, I think that's the final point. And I think we're both going to have a lot to say about this. Now, this hasn't been confirmed to be a thing with Thomas yet. But it's been reported that Mattel is using generative AI to make ideas for their toys. You can go first.
Generative AI being used by Mattel. I don't like that very much. I don't like that at all. I'm saying this through gritted teeth. I don't like that, Mattel. Can you cut that out, please? That's not good. Don't do that. AI is a tool, not a replacement. Okay. I don't get why they're using it. They have the 3D model resources of every Thomas character. Are you really that lazy? You have to use AI to do it for you. Oh my god. Just use a previous promo piece that you did for season 21. Just do that. And just take Rosie out. Boom. Done. What's with the AI? What is with that? Like, genuinely, what is the problem? Why? Please tell me, Mattel, you're not going to make this a norm moving forward, because I will be heavily devastated if that's the case. Okay? And I can't believe more people aren't complaining about this.
Yeah, I've
How
seen...
is this able to slide?
I think the only person I've seen talk about this is ironically Silver Productions.
Yeah, that is like the one singular, like, it's not a W, but it's like, okay.
Like, that's like like you're doing the bare minimum, like round of applause. You did the only freaking good thing you've done in your life.
I'm like, just wincing my eyelids as I slowly clap, and it's like, this is the best amount of appreciation you're gonna get from me, SP.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the best you're gonna get.
Also, like, I despise how everyone's supporting the merch, and yet no one's speaking out about this. Like, I don't think Unlucky Tug's talked about this, has he?
No, he hasn't, no.
He's, like, publicly supporting the merch, but hasn't talked about... And look, I have nothing against the Unlucky Tug. I'm talking about big Thomas YouTubers in general. If you're gonna support the merch, fine, nothing against you, but you have to talk about this. And by the way, to anyone who doesn't mind generative AI use, and there's, like, okay, I'm not gonna name names. And this person, if they are listening, I have nothing against you personally, and not that much against you creatively. What I will say, I've seen, like, a couple people, like 2 or 3 Thomas users, support generative AI publicly. And to those people, I respect you, I strongly disagree. Because that is taking away jobs. That is taking away people's outlet to be creative. That is taking away fundamentals that make creativity creative and an art.
Yeah. As like a writer and animator, you know, it really feels like a stab in the back to see people like be so blasé about AI taking over. Like, AI is the future. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Because, like, it's the blood, sweat, and tears that humans put into this kind of work that makes it so alluring and charming. If a computer does it, why does it matter? If a computer does it, that means no one behind the project cared, and therefore there's nothing to indulge yourself in. It's just lazily generated crap. Like, what's the point? Where's the Randy, where is the heart? Where is the hook? Where is the passion?
Yeah, Randy Fellface is going to become a common bit on this show, and hopefully Suction Cup Man does as well. By the way, did you know Suction Cup Man 5 is coming out?
No, I didn't know that.
Apparently, Pymations is doing a Suction Cup 5.
Hell yeah. But that's how I feel about AI, man. It's just bad. Like, use it as a tool, but don't use it as a replacement.
Okay.
You know?
Creative works, and I'm not just YouTube videos in general. Goofiness.
Yeah.
End of story. Goofiness. Use it for memes. And even then, I'd argue you could still probably do it yourself if it's just for a meme. But if you need to use it for a meme, that's fine. Literally nothing else. Like, anything that has a budget, especially. No.
Yeah. AI's out of the question if you got a budget behind that.
Yeah.
If you've got a budget, then AI shouldn't even be something that crosses your mind because you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Like, why get AI to do it? Because if that's the case, you could just do it for free. I've had people tell me, 2 very particular people, and they know I'm an animator, and that's been my passion at that point for about 6 years. Why do you commission models? You could just use AI. I was so close to just walking away and being like, this conversation is over. Goodbye.
I know exactly who you're referring to, but I'm not going to say it.
That's pretty much an insult on years of hard work I pushed myself to do, and how much I want to keep pushing myself now that I'm actually paying for my productions, and people just tell me to use AI. Like, no, not happening, okay?
And I've told my mom this, and my mom is actually, like, not supported me, but she's not against it. She, like, agrees, right? Like, about AI being bad. I've told her about it, and she agrees that it's stupid. I've told her. I'd rather off myself than support generative AI.
Yeah, but I'm not walking in a movie theater if it's got anything to do with AI at all.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Watching a show, or even watching a YouTube video, you know, no.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I think we've covered all the things with the merch.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts on this topic?
No, I don't think I've got anything else.
Okay, let's talk about the fandom Oh, this one's actually a bigger can of worms because there's so many things going on in the fandom right now. Charlie, what do you want? Okay, actually, I'm gonna have you do the full talking on this one because this is a thing I have no interest in. Charlie, rant about Soderland.
Soderland. Okay. There's actually a funny story behind this because the video is yet to come out as of the time we're recording this podcast. But myself, Engine Man, Little Owl, and Blue Shunter 13 actually reacted to Soderland for the first time during the Audrey Extravaganza 5 at the accommodation that they were staying at, and they invited me over to come and join them for Soderland. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm actually really excited for this. Because I love Project G1. Shed 17 was a journey and a half. You can actually hear some of my backstory on Chris Polygon's reaction, or not reaction, but like talking about Project G1. I explain my history with both Shed 17 and G1. But then we get to Soderland, okay? That night was probably the weirdest Thomas project I've seen in my life. Because I was ready to, like, have a conclusive ending to the story and, you know, see a major, really cool subplot with Diesel 10 because it was literally the grounds for an entire trailer. I'm like, holy shit, Diesel 10 must be a major player in this. That's pretty cool. And all the trailers are building up to be really intense. By the end, I had my head, like, almost in my hands, just staring in utter disbelief, and I think collectively my mindset, along with Blue Shunter, Engine Man, and Jack, were like, what the fuck? What was that? It's like, it's so weird. It's such a weird, like, honestly, I'm running on the theory, Soderland has to be this shit on purpose. There is no fucking way that was done by accident to make it that bad. It retcons a bunch of stuff about the previous two movies. It doesn't answer any questions as to where the Fat Controller is. Keith doesn't do anything. I mean, I know he's a truck, but, you know, he lived, so surely you'd think that means something. Owen Ruth is still here. There's no sort of, like, justice, but, like, there's a fix everything at the end, and there's, like, a trained Jesus baby human
What?
face made of, like, I'm fucking, like, mind blown by this by the end. Like, what the fucking fuck is this thing? What was this entire trilogy? One big practical joke, because I feel like Soderland was made because of the whining babies after G1 demanding a third movie, and this was made just to take the piss out of them. It's like, you want a third movie, you can have one, but I'm not going to promise it's going to be what you want or any good. That has to be the mindset that Paul had behind this, because if this was a genuine attempt at a good story, oh, Paul, please just let Shed 17 stay dead, and don't ever tell anyone that you actually tried with this. Like, ever, please. Because I really I want to believe that he didn't try on purpose. There is no way, after, like, all the build-up of the story in G1 and continuation, and, like, its effort to clear up the mess that the first movie made, and then by the end of Soderland, it feels like a complete, like, he pissed on the ashes of any flames that were left from G1's success. Or maybe just this entire series was never meant to be taken seriously in the first place. It is a horror parody of Thomas. I really don't know what I should have expected. But, you know, it is what it is. It's a fucking weird movie, Soderland, and I can't wait for that reaction to come out for you guys to see exactly what I was... Because I was so immersed the whole time. I was ready for, like, this big, amazing finale. And I was like, what? Huh? That's the best way I could describe it. The cat just going, huh? That's my entire reaction to Soderland. And I'm just confused by it more than anything. And I just don't want Paul to even touch Thomas again. Not because, you know, he can make some wild stories with it, but because I just think the narrative is now fucked and nothing matters because everything's just been magically fixed. And that removes the consequences of the previous two movies because everything's just magically back to normal now. And I'm like, what? consequences, all the bad things that have happened, everything we've watched and been through, what these characters suffer, none of that matters anymore. I'll say what I want about a certain show. At least that was entertaining to take the piss out of, for its mistakes. This, I'm just left completely baffled and speechless, almost, despite my rambling. You know, there's actually something to be critiqued with that other show. This is just a fucking beach party. That's all I gotta say. That's Soderland, everyone. That's take on Soderland.
So, okay, genuine question. Is Sudrian more broken than Security Breach? The long pause.
Yes.
Wait, yeah.
Yes, it is.
So when we were in a call a few months ago, and I said Sudrian Conflict was more broken than Security Breach, you didn't believe me. Now you believe me, don't you? Now you believe that that's possible.
I do.
Okay.
At least,
We need to do a dedicated episode on me educating you on Sudrian Conflict lore. We need to do that.
Here's the thing. When Security Breach revived after, at least it gave us a potential decent reason, albeit fucking stupid. Even though it wasn't him in the end. Also, they argue that it was just the mimic. I don't fucking know. I don't care about the Steel Wall story anymore. I really don't. I'm just in it for the ride at this point with the movies, and that's about it. But in Soderland, characters like Toby, despite us seeing them getting killed, are still alive because they say, it must have been hard for you to see your clone die. I'm like, oh, it was a fucking clone. Alright. Way to take the stakes of Toby's death out of the story back when we watched G1. Surprise, it was a clone the whole time. Fucking... And some of the biofused engines were left behind. Even though they literally say, any biofused engines in there didn't stand a chance. Well, clearly they did. Retcon. Yippee.
Okay.
Soderland's a bunch of dudes in there.
Okay. I have nothing to say because I haven't even seen Project G1. I don't care about the Shed 17 universe at all.
Yeah, I've stopped caring at this point as well.
Okay. I actually don't know your thoughts on this next one. So this will be... I knew your thoughts on Soderland briefly beforehand. I had no clue what your thoughts are on this. Even the first entry in this series. Can you guess what I'm going to ask you about?
No, I got no guesses.
What were your thoughts on Tobias and the Arcane Merchant?
This one's a bit more interesting and a bit more positive. Okay, so, funnily enough, my older brother was actually the one who told me about, and he's not even a Thomas fan, really at all, but he saw Half Pariah way back in the day, and this was, he actually told me about it, saying, have you seen this? Because it's actually, it's not bad. It's actually, pretty intense for, a Thomas fan film. At least I think, that's all sort of a blur, so take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure those weren't his exact words. But still, I still hadn't seen it at the time, and even after he told me about it, I had not actually watched it at all. And it wasn't until Arcane Merchant was about to come out that I actually watched, Half Pariah. Because I think when we got a trailer, I actually watched it, a month or two prior to friggin' Arcane Merchant coming out. And I enjoyed Half Pariah, that was good. It was different for a Thomas fan film. It was pretty intense. Especially the ending, and I was like, oh shit, wow. They actually, people die in this. And throughout the movie, people die. Obviously, it's like an AU, it's a different kind of take, but, it's welcome, it's creative. Arcane Merchant blew me the fuck away. Oh my god. The writing, the effects, the tone, the deaths, with one very particular scene taking the cake, that I had to open my window and actually get fresh air because I felt myself getting heated and I think actually felt kind of sick watching that happening because I was like, oh my god, hold on, I need to get some air. Whew, oh, that was intense. And I'm not kidding. I am not making over dramatic statements for the you know, for the sake of an unremarkable story, I actually did feel a bit sick watching Thomas's, you know, spoiler alert, Thomas's death scene.
Well, we'll probably put, like,
it was
spoiler
really
marks
crazy.
for both Soderland and any other project we talk about.
Yeah. But yeah, it was brilliant. And even then, we're still getting another movie. And if we have to wait another 10 years for it, then so be it, because this was well worth it. It looks incredible. I would have happily watched this in a movie theater as well. And I like that, despite it being made and released in the present day, I have no issue with older models like the ones in there being used, because it's consistent with the original. And, you know, sometimes, like, being new and spiffy with a bunch of new models, it's not always the way to go. And, dude, they put so much fucking effort into this. Like, oh my god, it's the most effort I've seen put into a fan film of any sort of fan project I've seen in my life. I don't think anything's going to top this. Like, genuinely, I see nothing beating the Tobias series, and I am so disappointed in myself. It took me almost 10 years to watch the first fucking movie, because the lore with this is immense, and the character progression is immense. The denial of sticking with any sort of tone that they go so far as to kill off Thomas the Tank Engine himself, brutal. I love it. I love it when we don't have, like, plot armor. Lack of plot armor is what we need more in fan projects. Knock on wood to some of the other ones in another fandom. Feel free to kill some of your main characters. That's okay. Tear out the audience's hearts. It has sticking power if you do that. It's the one scene everyone talks about, but, you know, still. You can do this stuff. You can do whatever you want. It's your project. You know, sometimes it's better to not worry about what the audience thinks, because it's not their show, it's not their project, it's yours. You do what you want to do, and if they don't like it, then, in the words of Audrey 2, turf titty.
This is actually quite ironic coming from the guy that shamed people for saying that about you and Murder Drones. That's rich.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit of a different scenario because that was an original thing. This is a fan thing.
Yeah. Like, if it's a fan project with, like, characters that have pre-established stuff, then you can go all out, especially if it's like an AU. Because at that point, you could do literally anything. Like, if you're not sticking to canon deliberately, then do what you like. You know, but if you have something with a lot of pre-established, like, world building and lore, and you're building that up, you need to respect that. But if you make it clear this is your own story, and it will be, then, yeah, go crazy, I say. You know, change what you like. Get creative. Have fun with it. It's your project, you know. It's a fan project, and that means you can do what you want with it. You have this world and these characters, you know. Do what you like. Give them their own backstories. Change their backstories. Change who the mains are, you know.
Okay.
Because most people at the time, like, think of Toby as this old, frail loser. But in this, he's a fucking hero.
I mean, he's a hero in both,
I never thought about
just in a different way.
Yeah. I like it. I like seeing Toby as a main. It's something I never would have thought was a thing as a kid. And that's crazy. I love it. So yeah, I loved Arcane Merchant, and I can't wait for the next one.
Okay, I don't have as definitive thoughts, especially on Half Pariah. I'll need to rewatch them, and maybe we'll talk about this in a subsequent episode. All I can say definitively on both is that the consistency of the logistics of the universe suck dick. Like, this universe is broken logically. And I think the main case in point for that is that Sir Tom Hatt is completely absent from Arcane Merchant. And Tynes' answer was, I don't care where he is because I'm not writing, because I don't want to write about him. Like,
yeah,
if you want to write him out...
This is probably like its own...
And, like, he was in the first movie, though, and he was a pretty big part of the first movie. Like, in terms of the, like, how the story fell into place. So if you're gonna write him out, you need to, like, come up with a reason. And write it in the movie.
That's fair. Yeah, that did seem a bit weird to me as well. That's the one weird thing with Arcane Merchant. Where the hell was where was Fat Hat the whole time?
Yeah, you don't even need that much. You could just have one of the first scenes be him saying, "Toby, I'm leaving the railway. I'm leaving you in charge." And also, one other thing, James's subplot comes out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I forgot to mention. I just didn't care for James in this movie, and I kind of want him dead in the next one. I think his time is coming.
Yeah, it's like, I'm fine with the characters being different. The issue is, James had literally, there was no build-up to this. And you could say, oh, it's like to shock the audience. Yes, but you need to give a detailed reason, maybe in flashbacks, maybe in a character explaining things. Like, maybe there's like a scene where Oliver is like, "What's up with James?" and then Toby explains it. You could say that. You could do that. The thing is, with this version, all we get is the Diesels are taking their jobs. Like, okay, and? Like, why? I get that's, like, why does there need to be, like, dictatorship, then? I don't get the transition between that. Like, I can understand him being apprehensive, sure, but I don't think we needed to at least be heard. We needed to at least hear about this level of, like, not extension, but, like, this level of, intensity. Persistence, yeah.
James is very persistent. And also, like, yeah, I agree. If you're going to do shock value, can you, like, actually do it for a reason instead of just, like, shocking the audience because something sudden happened? Or something like that they didn't expect. Subverting expectations can be done right if it actually means something to the story, and not just for the sake of being like, you thought, didn't you, audience? Gotcha! There's one very particular... I'm not naming the show...
I mean, to be fair, that show and its fandom, like, where you stand on the fandom is where I currently stand on the Thomas fandom, so. I'm a lot more cynical about the Thomas fandom than you are, I've noticed.
Yeah, just do shock value, that's fine, but do it for a reason. Don't just do it to shock the audience and then, like, you thought moment. Don't do that. That's bad. No, that's bad.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about... hold on, my mom texted me. I'm gonna have to... A brief intermission, lazy and aggressive men. Alright, lazy and aggressive men, we have returned to talk about the tank engine. Talking tank... Alright, so what are your... I guess we could talk... Do you have anything to say about, like, other content besides, like, fan films and shorts? Like, essayists or just people like that? Do you have any... I'm struggling to think of one. I guess we could talk about, One Railway Only came back recently.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because they were gone for, like, friggin'... How long were they gone for?
3 years.
3 years, yeah. That's a long damn time to be gone. Especially, in 2025 on YouTube. When people, like, you leave for, like, 6 months and you fade into obscurity. It's cool. It's a comeback. We love a comeback story. Everyone loves comeback stories.
Yeah, MPS has been back for a bit. Vincente 22 released Bad Influence, which I love subjectively, but objectively I'm a bit more mixed on. Sudrian Stories of Terror, like, that's a thing. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Basically, it takes a lot of inspiration from Sudrian Conflict, but it is more in line with the show than Sudrian Conflict. Like, if Sudrian Conflict, Breaking Bad, and Thomas were put together.
Oh, damn.
Yes, Breaking Bad was also a thing in Sudrian Conflict. There's a lot of Breaking Bad inspiration in that, too.
Oh. Damn.
That's why Hitler was involved. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah, I that's the one thing I've told Charlie about Sudrian Conflict, is that Hitler's involved.
yeah, I've gotten the most out of context hint of all time, and I'm like, huh? What?
I told him, there was a jump scare when I told him. My buddy Aaron Williams, shout out to him, he's awesome. He will back us up on that.
Yeah. It was a crazy moment. I was like...
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we could talk, do you want to move on to speculating about the official show now, or is there anything else you want to talk about fan-wise?
Fan-wise, I guess just currently the fans are...
Oh,
you know,
fuck, the Cardi cut, the Allcroft cut, we completely forgot about that.
Oh, yeah! Dude, I'm hype. That's all I can say. Like, from the clips that we've seen, the fact that, like, from the auction, there's also, like, production tapes that I think that a bunch of fans are, like, coming together so that Cardi can get a hold of those as well. Just in case it's, like, if there's stuff on there, that there probably is, of behind-the-scenes and actual movie footage and audio files and things like this and that and the other, so that they can have it and have it be part of the director's cut and really shape in Brit's dream into the director's cut. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. I only wish Brit could have been here to see this, dude. But I bet she's smiling down at
Yeah.
Cardi right now. Cardi should be feeling proud of himself. Really, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, they should. I'm personally not as excited as most of the fan, just because Magic Road isn't really, like, it's not my main source of inspiration for Thomas stuff, but what I will say is that it's great that it's happening, and it's also great that, like, we're getting a bunch of Lost Media, like the Wind Railway pilot, the pilot for the show. They're getting a lot of great restoration recently for the Thomas franchise, which I think is pretty cool.
This is one of, like, the best times in the 21st century to be a Thomas fan, honestly.
I hesitate to say this, but there's been very few good times, so it's not exactly a high bar.
Yeah, it's not a high bar to reach, is it?
Yeah. But yeah, there's been a lot of good stuff going on in the fandom, which I guess can transition to the official stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a bombshell. What are your thoughts on All Engines Go going?
Here's the thing. Obviously, I don't like thinking about this trilogy looking back, because I don't think it's dated too well at all. But
the
whole,
Hasbro
Thomas
trilogy
should be owned by Hasbro trilogy. I don't think it's aged well in terms of its talking points and whatever, and I wouldn't redo it, because there's not really much point. It was a far reach, it was a far cry. I wouldn't say it was a bad take. It was just I don't know. It was a mid take on my part. I'll just call it mid. Like, I call that series mid. But yeah, it was just younger me being pissed that Thomas was, like, in a cartoony position. And obviously, you know, I will never tolerate All Engines Go. The closest I did to doing so was just buying Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, and Toby in All Engines Go form, save for a few others like Duck and Salty. I think I bought Carly and whatever the fucking tiny shunter bitch.
Did somebody say boom? It's Sandy. Her name is Sandy.
Did somebody say boom? That was Mattel when they realized that All Engines Go wasn't working. It's like, did somebody say boom?
Did somebody say... what's a quote from All Engines Go that would work really well? I haven't watched All Engines Go at all. I've only seen, like, 3 episodes, and that was when the show first came out.
They just get blown up, and all Gordon has to say is, well, that's a fine, how do you do?
Oh, no, here's a good one, That's what I call a coloratura, or definitely a coloratura.
Definitely a coloratura.
Boom! Alicia body screeches All Engines Go to death. That should be a YouTube poop.
It should be. But yeah, All Engines Go getting shown the door. I'm like, there's the door. Bye-bye. Off you go. I didn't see it lasting very long either. You know, I think we all saw it's like, this is not going to work. It's too different. People old and new are going to be like, oh, why does Thomas look like this now? I'm pretty sure that Troublesome Junction, you know, Doug, said the exact same thing. And look what happened. They did. It made the headlines in the papers that Thomas looks different now, and not in a good way. It's like, why does Thomas look like this? I remember the day. People were always saying, oh, I remember the days when it was Ringo Starr on the model sets and stuff, and it was live action show. It's like, yeah, that's what everyone remembers Thomas as. No matter how much CGI or 2D Toon Boom you push at it, that's what people are going to remember the baseline Thomas being. Ringo Starr, or George Carlin, or maybe even Alec Baldwin, and the model sets with the mouths that don't move and the eyes that roll.
And the da 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 da.
That's what people think of Thomas, okay? That's the first thing that comes to mind. The first image, the first piece of music, the first voice. Nothing that Mattel has done is gonna be the first thing that comes to mind when people think Thomas. And it's apparent to everyone else except for them, and then they finally cancel All Engines Go. They're like, okay, drop everything. We need to, like, put the franchise IP on hold. We need to sort out what we want to do if Thomas is going to continue to be under our belt and just exist within the 21st century. We got to do something different. And it's because of that announcement of them saying it's like, oh, we've got something coming next year in 2026 for fans old and new. God knows what that means.
Do you think it'll be the Mark Forster movie?
I don't know if they're still making the Mark Forster movie. We've heard nothing.
I mean, I'm honestly wouldn't be surprised if it ends up having the same fate as the World War II movie that was like a thing in 2011.
Yeah.
To look back at that, what a funny idea.
Yeah, like, and the fact that we got, like, all the details for that. It's like, what the fuck was that movie?
Michael Bay, I would not be surprised if Michael Bay would have been in the running for that if that was the thing.
He totally would have been. It seemed right up his alley for, like, the 2011 era, you know?
But then again, he would have been busy with, actually, you know what? Or it was around that time he was thinking of ending his contract with Hasbro to do Transformers.
Yeah.
He might have wanted to do that, actually.
He might have wanted to, yeah. Oh my god.
Oh god. Ugh. I don't want a Thomas Bay verse. I really don't.
It's interesting, honestly, because I have no idea what to think of about what's coming, because we have no clue. If I had to take a guess, with the new, CGI stuff coming out and everything in Diecast and Trackmaster, I think they're going to go for a more stylized look, but still do CGI. Like, they're going to change the look a bit, but it's going to be, like, it's going CGI, but it'll be stylized slightly. I don't know how. Or they'll just go straight back to, like, Season 20/21 quality. Who knows?
I don't think they're going to go exactly like that, though.
Yeah, because I don't, like, I see them going something similar, but they're probably going to change the animation style slightly. Like,
Probably a bit of a hybrid, now that I think about it.
Yeah, something like that.
Like a hybrid between All Engines Go and CGI.
Yeah, kind of. I could see them going for, like, I know this is a stretch, but if they made, like, a Thomas movie to start this new, like, generation of Thomas off, they'd probably go something for, like, a Spider-Verse kind of look for a Thomas movie, you know?
That's actually funny, because Thomas had Marvel Comics.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. I can see them doing something like that. That's me just shooting the shit here. I'm just spitballing.
I don't think they'd have enough budget to go full Spider-Verse, though.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know.
I think they'd attempt it. I think they might attempt it. I don't know if they'll go for it. But if I do want to say this, I'm kind of in a state of, like, I kind of preferred when All Engines Go was going on, because at that point, the franchise has been spinning its wheels unnecessarily for so long. At least then we're in a state where, like, they're not damaging. All Engines Go to me is so inoffensive, mainly just because it's in its own bubble of stupidity. So, let's say they did a season 25.
It's like the same thing as, like, the late hit era, before CGI at least anyway, when time was going on. It was just, Thomas was, it had a roof over its head at least. It was just, it was still a relevant thing. It was sort of in limbo,
Not even that. It was just that, like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
But I don't even mean that. I mean is, like, it's so little damage at this point that I don't care. But, like, I'm worried that, because here's the thing, if I'm going to be completely blunt, I kind of just don't want this franchise to continue officially. Because I don't want these characters that I've loved so much to be damaged any further. They've suffered enough. I want them to rest. I want them to be able to end in the state that they're in. Or, like, because here's the thing. It is entirely possible, theoretically, to have a good Thomas series in the present day. That is entirely possible. And I think even preschool shows today, like Bluey, not even that, just Vampirina, things like that, good. Hilda, even. Yeah. Take notes from Hilda, please. I need that.
Take notes from Hilda, yeah.
We you know what? Maybe we should have done a Hilda podcast, because we're both obsessed with Hilda.
Bro, literally.
On April Fool's, we need to do, like, a Hilda-centric episode.
Hell yeah, I'm down.
Anyway, I know, this franchise is spinning its wheels. I kind of just am in a state of, like, I don't want this franchise to suffer anymore.
I feel you on that as well, because like as enthusiastic as I want to be for the future of Thomas, and as enthusiastic as I am for what could come, there is still that aching seed of doubt at the back of my mind of like, well, if this doesn't go well, that's probably it. Like, Thomas is dead in the water after that.
Yeah, and also here's the thing.
It would have built all that hype as well, only for it to fall out on its face.
Yeah, also another factor, let's say a reboot, revival, whatever, new story is good, then that good piece of Thomas content is at risk of downfalling.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. But actually, there is something. Is there anything more you want to say about the topic of the new stuff from Mattel? Because there's one other thing, possible continuation of a Thomas canon that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, we'll let you go into that, because I've got nothing else I want to say, really.
So the Railway series got a new lore manager. It's Christopher Audrey's son. And I was speculating with a Thomas friend that potentially that could mean new Railway series books.
Yeah, I think that's the best step forward, honestly, if I'm going to be real.
Okay. Do I want this? I don't know. Do I think it is a good idea? It really just depends on how talented of a writer this guy is. I'm gonna be real. It really just depends on how talented of a writer he is, and how much he understands the Thomas cast. Or the Railway series cast, because this isn't even Thomas. This is the Railway series.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't, like, diss the history of his father and his grandfather, then I guess it's fine. It's down to the respect of the legacy and the stories he's going to write to continue that legacy. Those are the two major points that had to be kept in mind if the Railway series were to get a new set of books.
And I mean, like, I'm fine with it as a concept. It really just depends on the execution. Like, it's not a bad idea. It's just not a good idea either.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's not really much to say about that, because we don't even know if that's going to happen. It's very speculative.
Yeah, to say the least, the future of Thomas is looking interesting.
Yeah, it's looking... I feel like this will be a very odd time to look back on.
Yeah, and, like, we still got the rest of the year to go through as well, and there's still probably plenty more surprises along the way. I guess we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, but there's one more thing I want to talk about for this podcast. Our Thomas projects that we've got going on, or just projects in general, Charlie, if you want to get into those. So, Charlie, what Thomas stuff are you working on that you are willing to talk about?
Okay. Well, I've got two particular things. One has been fully written, and I need to go over the script again just to make sure that, you know, it still feels right for me to, you know, fully finalize and validate as a completed script. And one is sort of like just a small Patreon exclusive project. For the Patreon exclusive project, I am currently working on reanimating the OG chase scene from Magic Railroad, just, you know, for the, you know, seems to be a year of Magic Railroad, and I kind of got motivation to work on that again. That's going to be Patreon exclusive, just because, you know, I feel like I deserve to give to the Magic Railroad community something fun, you know. Like adding proper lighting, doing new scene builds, you know, making the models look as good as they can. Going to see as well if I could somehow make wooden figures work into SFM by using, like, PNGs. if I can get good quality enough rips from them instead of using the animatronics, because that was a major complaint that people had. But in this version, I'm gonna use like 3D PNGs of the like trains characters like Mr. Conductor and Lily and yada yada and Bernard Stone. So I'm gonna do that instead and implement them into SFM for this final remake. And this isn't like originally voice acted or anything. It's just the normal theatrical cut of Magic Railroad's audio for the chase, animated, remastered, HD, good-looking models, good sounding, sound and everything. Just one final love letter. I know I said Stormy Pursuit was my final Magic Railroad animation, and, in terms of publicity, that is still technically true. I just wanted to drop this on Patreon as like a little breadcrumb.
Epilogue.
Just to be like, yeah. And as for the other project, is a full-on rewrite of Magic Railroad. The director's cut, specifically, and it's going to be done in Playrail. I'm currently in the midst of collecting all the models for it, like all the little Playrail characters, as well as some take and play for the narrow gauge engines for their scenes. Or take along, pick your poison.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I was the one that showed you that image of Skarloey next to Playrail Thomas, and they looked pretty much the exact same size. Yes. Am I the one that influenced the decision to do take and play?
Yeah, I did, because I was considering Wooden Railway instead, and then when you showed me that image, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stick with take and play. They're a better size.
Also, take along's like your secondary collection that you're doing.
Yeah, take along is the secondary collection I'm doing. My partner actually found another new in box. Thomas, like a take-along Thomas, but this one was in like its own little transparent box, and the thing was visible, the character card, so it was like a different box from the one I have. So there's two different box variants, and now I got them both. And he actually picked it up for £7 at a charity shop. So
I highly doubt you'll do this, but are you going to open one of them?
No.
I kind of expected that.
He posed the question to me. You could open it, but are you gonna regret it when you open it? And now I'm like, it's true. I'm not opening it.
I got a confession. One time I bought a in-box Wooden Railway Daisy from 1997. I opened it. And then my cat destroyed the pamphlet in the box.
But yeah, Magic Railroad rewrite in Playrail is the other one I'm working on. The humans are going to be animated, and they're going to be gacha humans, like Gacha Club. Anyone who's got a problem with that, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like gotcha named bad guys. It's accessible, which leads to good and bad things.
Exactly. And I'm going to properly learn how to animate gacha characters akin to like something like the Music Freaks as well. The best that I can, just to make it seem real. And obviously put realistic lighting on the gacha humans, so it looks like they're actually in the scene with the engines and on Sodor on the realistic sets. Anyway, other than that, I'm also for this gonna get I'm gonna get like actual faces, like proper molds commissioned for the engines made out of resin. So they're not just Playrail faces or edited faces. They're gonna have legitimate, proper commissioned faces, like real life ones that I could put onto the Playrail models, which would be cool. As well as getting fog machines and stuff, which Kale Stitch Underground actually has, and that's very impressive what he's been able to achieve so far. So Kale, if you're watching, very proud.
Yes, hey Kale, how you doing? He'll probably be listening to this at some point.
Yeah, I'll probably be listening, but hey, loving the work you're doing with the fog machines and making it come out from under the engines. It looks really professional, honestly. So I want to try to achieve that too, because I got to catch up with my fog machine game. Because I have like a slight smoke/fog machine, like a tiny one, but I have yet to use it or actually figure out how to set it up. But I'll do that once I've moved out, obviously, because that project's kind of in limbo right now, because I'm in the middle of moving into my own place, and I need something bigger, and to be able to build the sets. And I'm also going to have like other stuff, like little tinkered around, like 3D Playrail Thomas and Lady model commissioned, so that I can actually animate the sequences on the Magic Railroad as opposed to just filming them live action, so it actually looked kind of cool, properly animated. And have a 3D animated commission model of Diesel 10's claw, Pinchy, so that when it needs to move, I can actually animate it and green screen it in on top of him, like composite it over the Diesel 10 Playrail engine prop. in editing. I think that would look really cool. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I got planned for my Magic Railroad remake in Playrail.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to both those. Well, I'm not on Patreon reviews anymore. I would like to join back, but I actually, I need to save up so I can buy a One Railway Norman and One Railway Rheneas, or a new One Railway Rheneas. Like a new, for me, but like an old 1997 Rheneas for my Thomas project, Splinter Reflection, which I am going to talk about here.
Nice.
First things first, it is currently still in pre-production. The script, 30 to 40% done. 30 to 40.
Ooh.
The first act is pretty much finalized. There's only one small thing that mainly is in the second and third act that I need to set up. But aside from that, the first act is pretty much done.
Yeah, Future Eddie here. The entire script's being rewritten to account for issues with that third draft. Alright, back to the old recording. Can you tell this is months old?
And all the pieces are coming together. It's almost completed puzzle in my brain. And it's so good. And I'm so proud of it. And I think it'll turn out to be absolutely fantastic, at least script-wise. Production-wise, and how good it looks, and the fidelity of it. Superficial elements, that I'm not sure about. But I'm going to do my best to make it look the best, it look pretty, alongside a pretty good script, you know.
And that's all that matters, just doing the best that you can, you know.
Yeah, just putting everything I can so I can't help, but like if you do the best you possibly can, and don't leave any stone unturned, here's a tip, never say it is what it is. Never settle for anything you know you can do better on. That's my advice.
Push yourself to do
Yeah.
the best that you can do.
Yeah. So that's what I'm focusing on right now, and it's my main thing. Because unlike Charlie, he has Thomas stuff, and his Thomas channel is a bit of a side project. This is my main project right now, and it will be for a while, because I've been willing to say, I'd be willing to spend, like, a decade of my life on this if I need to. And I mean that in all sincerity. I love this story, and I want to tell it the best it possibly can be. But also, quick announcement. I said this on my channel. It's no longer a sequel to Splinter Insecurities. It is a remake that takes the ideas I had for the sequel and combines it with the original story. Because I found it very difficult to work with the very rough Splinter Insecurities. But what I do want to say is that I'll be posting news and behind the scenes on Instagram, Splinter Insecurities BTS, and TikTok, Splinter Insecurities BTS /news, which, by the way, I have followed Charlie on both.
You guys listening better go like follow and subscribe as well, so you don't miss anything, and ring the bell, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss any of that.
Yeah. But yeah. What else do I want to say about it? I guess I can say this. Gordon has been cast, and so is those two characters have been cast. Actually, I need to cut out who the second character was, because I'm not supposed to reveal that they're in the movie yet. I'll just do like a Mario sound or something as like a thing, as a bleep. You know now, Charlie. So, mwahaha, you get the say I know things that you don't know for the viewers.
I know something you don't know.
Is it? Did you intentionally say that like I love Kim Possible a lot?
No.
Good, because that person got into some stuff recently, so you that was the morality test. That literally no one cares about. Anyway, so Splinter Reflection, one of the biggest priorities of my life right now. However, not the biggest. Right now, my biggest priority is schoolwork and my boyfriend, and also just, enjoying life. But Splinter Reflection, priority number 4. Still pretty big, all things considered. And I'm working on it as much as I can, and as much as I have motivation to do it. And I promise you, it'll it'll be at the very least. I will not settle for anything below an 8 out of 10. I will not settle for that.
That's good. Reach those heights, man.
Yeah, and I'll be aiming for a 10, lowest 9, but if it's an 8, I'll be like, oh well. But anything 7 or lower, nah, not happening.
Nah, can't settle for a solid 7. Not settlement 7, nah.
Not happening. No, sir. But, yeah, that's pretty much the update on that. So, we have a podcast episode. Any closing things you want to say for the audience, Charlie?
I would like to say thank you all for listening to this first episode of Sudrian FM. It has been very fun having you here, and it's been very fun being here. And I hope to make more appearances in future podcasts.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you this. Like, I don't plan on doing this with anyone but you. Maybe Aaron, but, like, you're the main co-host.
Oh, then hell yeah. I'm happy to be on for, like, the rest of these. Because this has been super fun this first time. We got a lot of ground covered today. It's been fun just yapping with this stuff with you. Yeah,
it's been a blast, and this is, like, my only other thing besides Blend Reflection right now, and I'm happy. Like, this was so much fun.
Honestly, and I hope that everyone listening has had fun just listening to us talk as well. And give us your thoughts on everything we covered today in the comments, guys. We'd love to read your thoughts. Yeah.
Also, one other thing. I would like to promote other Thomas podcasts you can listen to if you want more stuff like this between this episode and the next episode. I'll link these in the description. TTE Community Radio has a bunch of Thomas podcasts. One shelf at a time. God. What are some others? The Coppercast, which also features Charlie, which is a Murder Drones podcast. We said it. Oh no. We said name drop Murder Drones.
Right.
We were so close. I could have said the thing. God dang it.
It's promo for Grumpy Ghost. It's okay.
Yeah, Grumpy Ghost promotion is fine. Hi, Grumpy. How you doing? I guess, just for fun, I'll just put my favorite podcast in the description. Life is a Bowl of Cashews. That's an amazing podcast. Have you listened to that?
I have not.
It's Brian Hall. It's his podcast. He doesn't do it anymore, but it's Brian Hall energy. Anyway, that's all we gotta say. Stand for the side of life, gamers. I haven't said that in a bit. Actually, no, I said it 2 days ago when I did the update video. Never mind. Yeah, say your outro, man.
Thank you all for listening to Sudrian FM. This is the Amazing Game 111 signing off. Until next time, have a good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time you're listening. And we will see you in the next one.
Enjoy the next 24 hours, viewers.